Lola, baby, your mask is slipping. I don't know if you know that. And even your man is noticing. Because what is actually going on? And again, I have to apologize to my girl, Angelista. Because you know that song by Saucy Santana? Walk 'em like a dog. That's what I'm seeing right now. Here, let's get into this episode recap. For dumping, Jazz and Cav are talking. Cav said he feels bad. You know, he had to do what's right for him. Jazz said, well, I'm glad you did because I would have been the one going home. Priya and Aiden, you know, he was asking if she had any doubts he was going to pick her. She talked about she wouldn't want to be sat with anybody else. What is going on here? They're comfortable around each other. They even had a kiss. But then she asked him to rate the kiss. Sister, stop. Then we have Martha interrupting. She didn't even care about interrupting. I think Lorenzo tried to stop her and she was like, no, I can do what I want. She went up to that terrace and interrupted them. She says, you know, she's blindsided. He never mentioned Priya and Castle Moore. And of course, Priya being nosy, listening outside. Martha said Aiden made it feel like it was her fault. They couldn't get to know each other. Not loud. She's not touchy. She's not feely. She's not confident. Throwing shade like, you know, hopefully, you know, you and Priya, it's a romantic couple. I think she's feeling some type of way, which she has every right to be. How you couple up with a bit you never told me about? Aiden told, Tommy and Kevin that he's going to get to know both girls, Priya and Martha. Tommy said, you know, you have the best of both worlds. Before bed, I think it was Angelista telling the girls, like, you know, she can't be like Jazz going back to all touchy and feel it with Simba. She has to take her time. Jasmine, of course, happy to be in a couple, asking about, is everybody happy to be in a couple? Y'all see everybody cheered, but Angelista, sister, I understand. Lorenzo, no offense, your girl is asking you, can you make her a coffee the next morning? You talk about, no, you made a promise to yourself. What kind of stupid ass promise did you make? Yuck. Also, Kevin and Jasmine, Ellie and Finley in the bed. What y'all got going on? In the morning, I did feel it was a bit weird. Martha asking Priya, how did Aiden cuddle you? Did he do this X, Y, and Z? Girl, why do you think that's a discussion? Priya said, well, no, it was just a regular cuddle. It felt natural. Y'all having this shade off about Aiden? Come on, sister. Martha and Aiden go to the terrace. Of course, he informs her about his kiss with Priya. He did say he wants to get to know them both. He's still surprised he picked Priya. Said that feels very convenient for him. Said he doesn't want Priya to affect getting to know Martha. She said Jordan's her priority. If he wants to, you know, talk to her, he gonna have to pull her. Have their couples checking in, Jordan and Priya. So, you know, it feels natural with Aiden. Meanwhile, Jordan is confused because he picked Martha, but it seems like Martha's focus is on Aiden. He said he saved her, so he feels like, you know, you should be giving me the attention, not the man who was willing to send you home. Tommy and Yasmin, he said he only got eyes for her. Doesn't need a test, but feels like it would help reassure things. He's starting to sound like Sean, baby. Come on now. We have Simba and Angie, and this is where I say she was walking him like a dog because she about to eat her little brekkie, and she said, hold my hair. So Mans had to hold her wig for her to eat. Then he asked for a bite, and she's like, after I get this bite. Throughout that conversation, I never saw her give him a bite. Then she asking him to come up with the terms and conditions going forward of how he will be moving. And he has to say, you know, how during challenges, you know, how he will have to kiss, who he will have to kiss, what he will have to do. Like I said, walk him like a dog. Anywho, they get a text for this message game called Couple Goals. Ask a question. Each couple will decide what couple that relates to. The question was like, which couple has a real connection, like a genuine connection? Mika's couple, Sean's couple, and Lorenzo's couple all picked Ellie and Finley. I feel like Jasmine was expecting Mika to pick her and Cap, sister. We have Martha and Jordan and Yasmin and Tommy who picked Lola and Sean. Eden and Priya, of course, picked Kevin and Jasmine. Angie and Simba picked Yasmin and Tommy. Ellie picked Samraj and Mika. And Cav picked Angie and Simba, because of, you know, Simba's declaration of love with the letter. Then we go into the mess. Which couple has the least sexual chemistry? This one was pretty much split down the middle. It was either going to be Priya and Aiden or Martha and Jordan. Those that picked Martha and Jordan were Mika's couple, Sean's couple, Jasmine's couple, Aiden's couple, Angie's couple. And then the people who picked Priya were Martha's couple, Lorenzo's couple, Ellie, and Kevin's couple. Sean picked Martha and Jordan. He also said he was also thinking Priya and Aiden. There were only literally two options for this question. And when it got to Martha to explain her thing, she was saying how, you know, Aiden never said anything about Priya, never mentioned an attraction of Priya. Of course, Priya has to pipe in. I don't know. That little situation was frosty. When we get to Lorenzo picking Aiden and Priya, Lorenzo said Aiden made it clear when they were in Casa, he literally had no connections in the villa. Well, more like romantic connections anyway. Question, which couple is least likely to work on the outside? And that's where the claws were coming out. This one, there were two answers as well. Either Lorenzo and Julia or Kevin and Jasmine. Mika and Sean, they chose Lorenzo and Julia. Of course, Sean's couple gonna pick Julia. Duh, Lola's right there. Yasmin's couple, Aiden's couple, Angie's couple, Lorenzo and Julia. Cavin's couple, Lorenzo and Julia. Let's go to Jasmine and Cav. Martha picked them because, she's sticking up for her friend Charlene. Based on what he said to Charlene, she don't think this is going to work on the outside because he's going to find someone else like that. I have Lorenzo who had picked Jasmine and Kevin. But Julia made it known that she would have picked somebody else. Sean and Lola. Lola was very passionate about her relationship. She's also questioning how real it is. Of course, I don't know why Priya was piping in to stick up for Lola. Lola, a grown woman. I think at one point, Julia was like, she might be scared. She was sometimes scared to talk to Lola. Lola was like, yeah, be scared of me. Don't talk to me. Something like that. Who are you feeling like, sister? Of course, they're bringing up the whole, she's a bombshell. She had to do this. And Lola talked about, well, if that's your morals to go for a man that's taken, that's on you. Girl, your issue should be with your mans. He also chose, Jazz and Cav said, like, lifestyle and age gap. We have which couple was the most one-sided. Of course, Lola wanted to do Lorenzo and Julia because Julia is here for airtime and drama, and Sean shut that down. Lola has mentioned airtime so many times that Julia is here for airtime. The only time I've heard airtime is from Lola's lips on more than one occasion. Oh, anywho, Mika's couple picked Angie and Simba, that he likes her more than Angie likes him. It should be. Sean and Lola also picked Angie and Simba. Martha, they picked Julia and Lorenzo. Jasmine picked Jordan and Martha. Lorenzo picked Jordan and Martha. Jordan was doing gestures and Martha was somewhere else with Aiden. Aiden picked Martha and Jordan about how, obviously she was expecting to be picked by him. I'm also glad Aiden got called out this question, but we'll get there. Angie picked Aiden and Priya. Lee's couple and Cav's couple picked Martha and Jordan. And Jasmine asked the right question. So is this little thing finished with Aiden? Talk about, I'm still under the impression we're open to chatting. No, baby. Say you took it to the terrace and asked for that. She said something like, yeah, like if you make the effort now, I'm obviously with somebody else, you'd have to pull me. And everyone's like, clarify. Like, I need it in simple terms. It's like, well, she doesn't know where everyone's head's at. She does not understand because she's like, well, no, he came back, he picked me. Martha said, well, that's why I'm confused. He took me to the terrace and said he still wants to get to know me. Told him Jordan is her priority, so if he wants to talk to her, he'd have to pull her. And Aiden's talking about, well, I just feel like if I'm the only one pulling, it's not fair. And she goes, okay, well, we don't have to talk. Dead. Period. Jordan confused, Priya confused. We have which couple cares about how they're perceived. Everybody but Angie and Ellie's couple picked Angie and Simba. I don't know, but I feel like Sean and Lola were able to spin it in a positive way, something around the letter. I don't know. Julia did say Simba was conflicted on how he's perceived versus how he feels at the moment, which I do think she's onto something, not gonna lie. And for Julia, they said she'd be here for the drama. We had which couple would you want to go on a double date with? Popular answer was Julia and Lorenzo. I'm so sorry. Martha obviously picked Aiden and Priya. Priya and Aiden picked Martha and Jordan. Lorenzo picked Jasmine and Cav. Sorry, Angie picking Lola and Sean talking about, y'all like High School Musical, we like rappers. So y'all are losers, we're cool. Sorry, Lorenzo saying this is a deep question for him because everybody was him with, yeah, we're not hanging out with you and that girl. Not you and that girl. We love you. It's just no. I'm so sorry. Was it Finley talking about he feels like, what's her name? Julia will argue with the waiters. Baby, you have a firecracker as well. Ellie. Be arguing too, but obviously for good reason. I don't like how they were doing that. No. Now, in the evening, Lola telling Sean they're not going to do anything rogue. He's like, well, he's going to. Talk about, do not do that. Please don't do that to me. I don't want this getting more airtime. Again, with that word. Outside, I think he tried to pull Julia, and she's like, don't do that. No, I'm not in the mood. And they sit with Yasmin. It was them, and then Yasmin and Tommy, saying how he needs to speak to Julia. He wants things to be civil. He's like, I don't want you to be civil with her. I want you to be friends with her. I want you to ignore her. If you're doing anything for me in this place, do not do that to me. Did you see the way that man rolled his eyes? And we have Lorenzo and Julia talk it out, and then, he said he was a little worried in the beginning, but how she explained herself after the game kind of cleared everything up, and that Sean wants to talk to her. Sean is Lorenzo. Julia walks up and they have the talk. Ends up being civil, and he goes to tell his girl Lola what has happened. She throwing shit. I'm glad you did what you wanted to do. I just feel like we do things differently. He's like, well, no, I did what you wanted to do. I didn't pull her. He goes, that's semantics. You still talk to her. Y'all see his face? I think he's not realizing because the wish was going off. I'm also thinking everybody else is noticing that girl is crazy. And I think also Sean is noticing like, what the hell? I don't know if this money is worth it for me to stick in this. With the eye roll Sean had at the end of that conversation, I know he fed up. But yeah, Lola, I don't know what you got going on, sister. You got to relax. Or you just got to get out my villa. Thank you.